Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the Asher Knives Spiro. These come in at $135, and I gotta admit, this is my most carried Asher knife to date by a long shot. It's only rivaled by its brother, the Titanium Sparrow. Love both of them, but for some reason, this one I just gravitate more. Maybe because it's newer, I don't know. Unfortunately, they are out of stock right now, but I know he's been doing his best to drop more often. And if you want a fighting chance, do like I did, sign up for his email list. That way you know when the drops are coming and you can be ready. And I mean, they're popular for a good reason. They're well-priced, high-quality knives. This is a more medium-sized EDC knife at 7.4 inches with a 3.2-inch Wharncliffe blade of CPM S90V steel. Got a nice raw stone wash finish there. Do have some jimping, and it is functional. It's just not a really long row of jimping. I'm okay with that on my folders, though. Nice blade hole for deployment. You do have a good sharpening choil that'll give you several sharpenings before it'll widen up in the back right there. And if you wanted to, you could easily widen it up, being that the stop pin's not an issue. This is going to be an excellent utility blade shape, great for doing tip work. In-hand cuts are going to be great as well. You can have full power from heel to tip, being it's a straight edge. And I've already tested Asher's S90V in 2 of their fixed blades, and for what you're paying for them, I was pretty impressed. Let's see how this Wharncliffe performs. Yeah, this knife came very, very sharp out of box, and it's always fun to do the cardboard with a Warnie. It's going to really, really shine here, and I can already tell this handle is going to be comfortable. I feel nice and locked in. Of course, I got a glove on, but we'll test that in just a second. And it felt like it has decent geometry. It's slicing very, very well. I mean, a lot of that has to do with how sharp it is when it comes to at least single wall cardboard. Only time you'll ever really feel that geometry is whenever you get to like the double and triple wall stuff. But doing great here. Now we're going to test those ergos. And man, look how good that edge is. It's just peeling this like an apple. I can make fine curls very easy, but I got to use very light pressure. And you'll see whenever I start to really put a lot of pressure into it, it's when I lift the board up. That's always the case, because there you go. I'm just wanting to see, I'm putting a lot of force into the wood just to see if there's anything poking, prodding me. And I got to say, it was very, very comfortable. That choil area really locks you in, and I could have done that for days. If it would have been a little bit thicker of a handle, I could have been known for days, especially. But you're going to shine here as well. Of course, you got that needle-like tip. Excellent for doing detail work like we always talk about. And I'm showing that you can do stuff on a flat cutting surface. It's just not as easy. And I would never do the sisal rope on a flat cutting surface without lifting it up on a block. It's just too much pressure you got to put into it. But 10-ounce denim, it still has a lot of bites to that edge. Love me some S90V. It usually is very, very toothy unless they polish it, of course. But just look how it's popping that half-inch sisal rope. And being that this is I think their first S90V folder that I've tested from Asher, I did their fixed blade. And those usually have a little bit different edge geometry. I decided after I run out of this one, I had another piece cut for another knife, and I said, why not? But so far so good. The pinch grip is very comfortable, and you see what, I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. When I'm lifting up on this block, you can see you get a lot more of that cutting edge onto that surface before my knuckles hit the surface. If I was trying to do this on that flat surface without anything underneath it like that, I would only be getting that tip portion, and it would make my life absolutely miserable. I already hate doing the sisal rope anyway because it causes the most blisters. But I do it because I want to make sure there's nothing that is catastrophic with the knife or the edge. Make sure it doesn't start chipping on me, and making sure it's not getting super dull very, very quick. Then you know it either has a poor heat treat. Definitely be the case with S90V if it gets dull really, really quick. But it's doing great. I can't remember exactly the number whenever I jumped to the second rope, but with the second rope, we end up getting through 190 cuts, and I could have definitely probably done another 190. I literally ran out of rope with this last piece. I got another 8 more bushels or whatever you call it of the 1/2 inches of rope coming. Talk about some expensive stuff. God, it's like $9 a roll, and that's the cheapest I could find. But it was a pleasure doing this knife, and yeah, we'll maybe test that edge after we finish this. I think it should still be pretty darn good. All right, let's see what that edge is like. It definitely feels like it's still stroppable. Slow cut first. Yeah, not bad. It's definitely not as sharp, but I call that good. Do a fast cut, you probably wouldn't even see that. Yeah, not bad at all. Now, the deployment on this knife is another place where, in my opinion, this knife really, really shines. It has one of the best tuned detents. Watch how snappy. Excellent reverse flicker. If you like to reverse flick your knives, you could thumb flick it, and you can still slow roll it. If you wanted to, you could do the spidey drop. All of them work great, but man, that reverse flick, it comes out nice and fast, riding on ceramic ball bearings with a ceramic detent ball. Let's take a look at the handle. And this is another thing that kind of draws me to this knife. I don't have any knives in this silver twill carbon fiber. I used to hate this stuff, but man, for some reason now, it just mesmerizes me. I absolutely love the way it looks. And not to mention, it's beautifully contoured. It's very, very comfortable in hand. All the cutting I did, this thing was excellent in the hand, and I felt nice and locked in. You have the Asher branded pivot there. You have a Torx T8 for your body screw, and the only T6 you have is for the pocket clip. Comes with a deep carry tip up wire pocket clip that is reversible, and it carries really, really nice in the pocket. I love a good wire pocket clip. It's sitting on this smooth carbon fiber, so it goes in and out of the pocket nicely. You got enough ramp for most people's jeans. Now, if you wear thick jeans, it may not be enough ramp for those. But for my jeans, it worked great. And for my thin, lightweight shorts, it worked great as well. And it's going to bury pretty much all the way into the pocket. The blade centering is straight down the pipe. You have the same silver twill carbon fiber backspacer with a little geared pattern that is pretty much flush with the scales. A hidden lanyard post in the back. I love that they didn't put an extra hole. You have inset stainless steel liners that have been heavily skeletonized, bringing the weight down to 94 grams or 3.32 ounces. That is awesome. The lockup on my knife, I'd say, is sitting around 40, maybe even 50%. The access to the lock bar, I'm just going to say it's okay. This comes in a little bit lower. You got a chamfer there with a little bit of texture. It's just not super simple to get to. It's not terrible, but it's just not great. The lockup on mine, solid, no play up or down, left or right. Size comparison with the Ontario Rat 1 and 2, Kubi Royal and the QSP Penguin. And lastly, we have the Spyderco PM2 and Para 3. Now for my nitpicks and complaints, and these are just nitpicks, I think they could have extended the jimping out a little bit further. I think they could have given us a little bit better lock access, even though, like I said, it was not terrible. And it would be nice to have all the hardware T8, especially since I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this is a body screw. I could be wrong there. But regardless, it would be nice to have all T8. But other than that, I'm going to tell you, I absolutely love the Spiro Wharncliffe. I think it's my favorite Asher to date. Like I said, only rivaled by the Titanium Spiro. Both of them are outstanding. This one just has a more versatile blade, being it's got a low tip drop point. So, you know, I do gravitate to that a little bit more. And this one's an S35VN, which is a great steel, but I prefer S90V. It's got better edge retention. It takes a much toothier edge, in my opinion. And this one's just been seeing a whole lot of pocket time. I think it looks great. It's affordable for what you're getting here. And like I said, if you've been on the hunt, just be patient. I know he's doing everything he can. He's a very small company. He's gotten a lot bigger over the years. And with that, he's gotten way more popular. Every one of his knives seemed to be better than the last. I mean, I've reviewed them from back in the day. The thumb stud Spiro, this is one of the older ones. I had one even older than that. I think I gifted it or gave it away in a giveaway. And then this is one of the older flipper sparrows. And I can definitely see a huge, huge improvement over this one and this one. And then this is a more recent crossbar lock sparrow. Once again, huge, huge improvement over this one and this one. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Hey, so hey.